Hello, my friends of the Psychedelic Renaissance. It's Tom Hatsis, your psychedelic historian, and this is the Medicine Diaries, Episode 3. So yesterday was the winter solstice 2019, and I decided to mark the occasion by eating some mushrooms, of course. I started off with an eighth, but then I ended up eating more, and I actually don't know how much I ended up eating, because I started off with the eighth, and about 2 hours into it, I just kind of opened up my jar and started eating more mushrooms. And so, not sure the amount, but I do think that it was somewhere between, I don't think that I reached up to the 5 gram mark, but I was definitely somewhere comfortable in the fours. And the reason I think that is because for me, an eighth of mushrooms, as I mentioned in my first video of the Mushroom Diaries, an eighth usually puts me in kind of like an ayahuasca space, and, 5 grams will usually put me in, a mushroom space. So I'm going to say that this was probably 4 because I was kind of going in and out of ayahuasca space and mushroom space, which is both very interesting and very cool. So the reason I ate the mushrooms yesterday was not just for the solstice, but also I have some pretty big things coming up in life, and I'm going to be stepping hopefully into some roles that I've never stepped into before. For example, somebody got in touch with me the other day. That's a film producer that wants to put together a movie about the Amanita muscaria and all, the nonsensical lore about Santa Claus and Christmas traditions, and he wants me to be a part of it. And if you're interested in that topic, I just posted a video a few days ago called The Truth About the Amanita Christmas Hypothesis. And I also have to drive down to LA after the new year for a whole other meeting for something I can't really discuss yet because the pieces are still moving around, but needless to say, I'm very excited about it. And because I'm stepping into these new roles, I kind of wanted to do what I like to call, as a magician or a witch, making adjustments behind reality. So the adjustment that I needed to make this time has to do with confidence issues. I've never actually been a very confident person, and it's something that I've really been working on. Although after yesterday, I'm feeling a lot more confident. And I'm going to tell you, so I did my normal, I write out, my intention and then turn part of that intention into a hymn. I call it my intention hymn. And this was it from yesterday. I wrote, I'm just going to go right to the book. With all the activity pulsing in my life, and then, the things that I have going on, I must walk through this large fire with the confidence that Gaia has her eyes fixed upon me. The baggage I have carried will not serve me. It is time to let it go. Remember the lessons of self-forgiveness and walk with confidence into this new reality that I have manifested. Confidence issues come from many places. Some of us just feel we were born wrong, like me. Other times it's a series of attempts and failures that ends in giving up and never trying again. Well, that was almost me. Other times we've been knocked down and abused and then gaslighted over it. Oh yeah, that's me. Well, today I dropped that baggage. Today Gaia says that I was born right. Today I accept that all my failures have brought me to this beautiful and magical point when I am the happiest I've ever been in my life. Today Gaia lifts me up and dresses my wounds with starlight. Today Gaia shows me my truth. I am a microdose of cosmic magic. I am as beautiful as the heavens. I am as creative as the earth. I am as ever-flowing as the ocean. And then I said my invocation to Gaia 3 times, sat down, started to meditate, slowly but surely ate my mushrooms, kept meditating, and then lied back and closed my eyes. So the reason I decided to eat more mushrooms was that the first clear vision, or I guess I should say it wasn't all that clear, but the first kind of vision that I had was of a golden vagina. And I've never seen this before, and this was the first time I've ever had to climb into a golden vagina to enter Gaia's palace. But what happened was I couldn't actually get into it because it was still kind of like mirage-y. Like it wasn't a solid gold vagina. It was, it looked like a mirage, kind of gold vagina. And Guy was like, well, you got to eat more to make the golden vagina be able to, hold you. So I ate some more, and that's what got me to this somewhere around 4 grams. The golden vagina opened, and down I went. And so I immediately entered the palace and spent a good 4 or 5 hours in the room of the Purple Lion, which, has me, thinking again that I don't understand when people say they have bad trips or bad experiences. I still don't know what that is. And once again, yesterday, I actually tried to have one and it didn't work. I think I'm like the only person in history that has actually tried to trigger a bad experience, a bad trip, but it doesn't happen because of the magical techniques that I use. And so one of the other good things about magical techniques and you doing psychedelic witchcraft versus just having psychedelics and just witchcraft is that you can actually program, or at least I certainly can, how like where that trip is going to go. Like I needed to end up in a room, where there'd be, where I would be able to like kind of bathe in confidence, and that's obviously the room of the Purple Lion. And so that's where I was. I mean, almost for the entire time, that's where I spent. And one of the cool things that happened was Gaia was like, how did the conversation start? Oh, it was like she was like, asking why don't I have, this like I should have this confidence. Why don't I? And I said, well, I've never really been able to like come up with that. I think it just, goes back to not having much love in life and things like that. And she said, no, 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 it's all in how you're looking at yourself. That's your problem. Like, what do you mean? I mean, I know what she means, but like, what wisdom are you about to impart on me? And she is like, take a look at this. And she points to my left arm. She said, what's that? I said, it's my left arm. She said, oh, what else is it? It's like my non-dominant arm. She said, see, there's your problem. I was like, what's my problem? She said, you don't have a non-dominant arm. And I was like, I don't have a non-dominant arm. Like, what a simple flick of the switch, to change my mind about the whole other side of my body, right? And so what she did was she said, and this was so cool, and this is how I know I was in the room of the Purple Lion. She actually gave me a lion's paw on my left hand. I now don't even have a left hand anymore. I have a lion's paw. So I have a right hand and a left lion's paw. And it was cool because I was actually watching like underneath my skin was like this, this paw just kind of like merging with my hand. And so like I can't wait to see all the cool things I'm gonna do with my left hand now that I've never really used it too much before. But so I thought that was pretty cool. While there was also this kind of version of me, like this skin, but again, it was kind of miragey the way the golden vagina looked, and it never changed to become solid. It was just this almost like if you ever watch, the Christmas Carol with Uncle Scrooge when they're the apparitions looking on, the parties and Bob Cratchit and all that. Like it was kind of like that. Like that's what I looked like, and she told me, she said, step into it. And I did. And I stepped into this new kind of skin that was me, and hopefully some positive changes will come from that. I did meet with some angels again, and it was really cool because I got to say Chaleps as a greeting for the first time. Last time I was saying it as goodbye, but this time I was like Chaleps, and like, Chaleps, and it was great. And this is something pretty cool. I did not know this. But so angels, when they land, so I believe I described angels as it's almost like just kind of like a shield, like a breastplate shield with some jewels, like on one of the breastplates, right? And that's it, with just light behind it that kind of flaps like wings. Now that's only when they're flying. The thing is, like, they actually landed this time, and when the light kind of vanishes from them being able to fly, they have bird heads. I had no fucking idea, but angels have bird heads. So yeah, they started talking in the Emerald language again, and Jesus, I could not make heads or tails of it. I'm sorry, so I did not return with another word from above, but maybe next time I will again. But it is such a complicated language. And then something happened that has never happened before, and I don't know much how to explain it, but I'll give it an attempt, and I have my own, thoughts on it. But there was this black dude there that was crying and just wanted me to hug him. And I was like, okay. And we just kind of gave each other this big hug. I never actually saw his face. It was just a body, really ripped and cut. I was just hugging him, and he had his head right here, and he had white hair, just like shock white hair. And I was just holding him in my arm, and, we were kind of crying together. And I don't know who you are, sir, if you're out there and you were eating mushrooms yesterday at around 2 p.m. Pacific time, and maybe our experiences kind of crossed in the ethereal plane, and if you ever want to get together and meet space to have that hug, I'd love to know who you are and see, let's get a beer or something. And not too long after that hug, I had this feeling that I just really needed to write down, so I opened my eyes, I left the palace momentarily. I have my journal next to me, of course, and I wrote... oh, no, that's witchcraft. Hold on. This is my first attempt up here. How absurd that is. And then I wrote, how absurd that there should be anything but love. And so this thought of there should be love led me to thinking about the differences between the true reality that is Gaia's palace and the fake reality that we all create with things like social media and regular media. And so I wrote something down, and I'm just going to share it with you. That says, because I can actually see real quick the difference between those, like between truth and just bullshit, for lack of a better word. And so I wrote, social media is a kind of matrix. It's this non-existent world that you are convinced exists based on nothing more than algorithms, tailored specifically to your basest nature so that your soul can be sold to the highest bidder. Now, I'm not saying don't use social media. I like social media. We all like social media. Just recognize what it is trying to do to you. Recognize that it is trying to control your behaviors and brainwash you. And then it's way easier to not let that happen. Like, for example, don't fall into what I call a K-scroll. You know what a K-scroll is? Like a K-hole, except you're on social media. You know, this like just scrolling, like, scroll, 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 like, scroll, 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 like, scroll, 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 like. And here's the thing. If you were to ask that person, what were the last 3 things you liked on social media? They probably couldn't tell you. You know why? K-scroll. Don't do that. Well, my friends, that's all I have for you this time, and like always, I'd love to thank you for stopping by. Please like and share this video, and subscribe to my page, and hit the little bell icon so you are notified when new content is uploaded. Until next time, thank you so much for checking out the Medicine Diaries. I'm Tom Hatsis, your psychedelic historian, reminding you that you free your mind with a whole lot of mushrooms. Peace.